Hey, what's up, treasure hunters? Did you know that you might be carrying around a penny worth $4 million? Yes, $4 million, enough to buy your dream home, a fancy car, or every single item in the snack aisle. And all of this is thanks to a little piece of copper from 1986 without a mint mark. Intrigued? Good. Stick around, and I'll spill the beans on what makes this penny so valuable, how to identify it, and, of course, whether you've got one hiding in your piggy bank. Spoiler, it's not as rare as Bigfoot, but close. So, let's dive in. First of all, what's the deal with mint marks? For those who skipped coin collecting 101, most US coins have a little letter stamped on them, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and so on. This tells us where the coin was made. Now, if you look at a penny from 1986, it should have a mint mark. But if it doesn't? Cha-ching! You just hit the coin jackpot. Now, here's the kicker, this particular error, the no mint mark 1986 Lincoln penny, wasn't intentional. It's like that time you meant to take a quick nap but woke up 3 hours later, it just happened. In coin terms, someone at the mint goofed, and a small batch of pennies skipped the mint marking process. And that little mistake? Well, it's making collectors go wild, bidding up to $4 million for one of these beauties. $4 million. That's like trading a penny for a yacht, but wait, I hear you asking, how do I know if I've got one of these magic pennies? Great question. Take out a 1986 penny and look just below the date on the front. If you see no letter there, no P or D, then congratulations, you might be holding a piece of history. But before you start spending your millions, make sure to get it authenticated by a professional. Not all no mint mark pennies are created equal. Let me tell you a quick story. When I first heard about this, I went digging through every jar, drawer, and couch cushion in my house. I even checked that mysterious space between my car seats, where I found a fry older than the penny itself. Sadly, number 1986 no mint mark penny for me, but hey, the hunt was fun. And let's be real, who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? So, what have we learned today? A 1986 penny with no mint mark could make you a millionaire. All it takes is a keen eye, a little luck, and maybe some professional verification. But even if you don't find one, hunting for rare coins is still a blast. You never know, you might stumble on another valuable error coin or even just rediscover some cool pieces of history. You're sorting through a jar of loose change, the kind that's been sitting on your dresser since who knows when, and bam. You stumble upon a penny that could be worth, wait for it, $3.8 million. Yeah, you heard me right. We're talking about a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. But hold on, don't go raiding your couch cushions just yet. In today's video, we're diving into the juicy details about this rare coin, why it's so valuable, and what makes it such a collector's dream. And trust me, by the end, you'll be giving every penny you find a side eye like it owes you rent. Let's get into it. What makes this little copper beauty so special? The 1994 penny with no mint mark wasn't some kind of rare collector's edition released on purpose. Nope, this is a classic minting mistake, and collectors love a good screw-up. Usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, which is normal. But this particular penny is an error coin, likely struck on the wrong planchet or somehow made from an alloy not intended for circulation. The kicker? This penny isn't just a little quirky, it's one of a kind. There's currently only one confirmed specimen in existence, and it's graded as an MS-67. That's coin nerd speak for, this thing is in ridiculously good condition. A collector snagged it at auction for, you guessed it, $3.8 million. Imagine being the person who casually found that penny in their pocket. Bet they never looked at a gumball machine the same way again. Now, let me share a little story with you. A few months back, I was helping my mom clean out her garage, and we came across an old coffee can full of pennies. I'm talking ancient, dusty, spiderwebbed coins. Naturally, my heart skipped a beat. What if we struck gold, or copper, in this case? Spoiler alert, no jackpot for us. But I did learn to spot potential winners while sorting through all those coins. The thrill of the hunt is real, folks, even if all you end up with is a sticky penny from 1987.so. How can you tell if you've got a potential millionaire penny in your collection? First, look for the date, 1994. Then, check for the absence of a mint mark under the date on the front of the coin. If you think you've hit the jackpot, don't go running to eBay just yet. Get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Without that official seal of approval, it's just a shiny penny to everyone else. Also, let's talk about condition. The MS-67 grade of the famous 1994 no mint mark penny isn't just about being not scratched. It's about flawless details, a perfect strike, and that gleaming luster that makes collectors swoon. So, don't toss a scratched-up penny in a plastic bag and hope for millions. You'll need to keep it pristine, or better yet, find one that's already pristine.so. What's the moral of today's story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That boring old penny you've been ignoring could be worth enough to buy you a mansion, or at least a really fancy car. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and there's always a chance that the next rare gem is hiding in plain sight. A regular OL 2008 penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one little penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $3.5 million today? Yep, you heard me right, $3.5 million. That's not just snack money, that's retire to a beach in Hawaii money. Stick around because I'm about to spill the beans on how you could potentially hit the jackpot with this coin in your collection.so. Let's get into it. You might be wondering, why on earth is a 2008 penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a little mystery known as the no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Normally, coins made at the Philadelphia Mint are supposed to have a little P stamped on them, or no mint mark at all for certain years, but what makes this particular penny special is the combo of it being a flawless specimen and having no mint mark. Here's the kicker, this penny isn't just any old pocket change. It has to be in perfect condition. That means it's got to be shiny enough to make a magpie jealous. These coins are graded on a scale called the Sheldon scale, and you'll need a MS-70 grade to hit the big bucks. That's coin nerd speak for no scratches, no fingerprints, no scuffs. Basically, it looks like it just got minted yesterday. Now, here's the thing about these no mint mark pennies, they're incredibly rare. Like, rarer than finding a unicorn in your backyard rare. Only a handful have ever been discovered in top condition, which is why collectors are willing to shell out millions. And yeah, when I say millions, I mean it. One of these beauties went for $3.5 million at auction. Can you believe it? That's more than some houses cost. Quick story, last year, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic, because, you know, I'm a great-grandson and all, and we came across a jar full of pennies. I jokingly said, hey, maybe one of these is worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But you'd better believe I inspected every single coin like I was Indiana Jones searching for the Holy Grail. If I had found a no mint mark penny, I probably would have fainted on the spot. So, how can you tell if you've struck gold, or copper, in this case? First, grab a magnifying glass or a good camera phone and check the front of the penny. Look right under the date. If there's no mint mark, you might have something special. Next, inspect the condition. If it's all scratched up from years of living in a junk drawer, it's probably not worth much. But if it looks like it's straight out of a coin catalog, then it's time to get it professionally graded. Here's a pro tip, don't clean the coin. I know, your first instinct might be to polish it up until it sparkles, but collectors actually value the original patina. Scrubbing it could hurt its value. Trust me on this one. So, there you have it, the 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be your ticket to financial freedom. Whether it's hiding in a jar, a piggy bank, or that drawer we all have that's full of random junk, it's worth taking a closer look. Who knows? Maybe your spare change is worth a whole lot more than you think. Well, what if I told you that one of those little guys could be worth $3 million? Yep, that's not a typo. We're talking about a 2013 Abraham Lincoln penny, no mint mark, hiding in plain sight and packing some serious value. Now, before you sprint to your piggy bank like it's Black Friday at a coin shop, stick around. We're going to uncover why this tiny treasure is turning heads in the coin world, how you can spot one, and what makes it worth more than a luxury sports car. Spoiler alert, this story involves a happy accident and a lot of luck. The 2013 penny in question is your classic Abraham Lincoln design, nothing too flashy at first glance. It's made of zinc with a thin copper coating, weighs just 2.5 grams, and you probably see dozens of these every week. But here's the kicker, this specific coin lacks a mint mark. No D for Denver, no P for Philadelphia. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Now, normally, that wouldn't mean much. But this no mint mark penny is special. Somehow, this little gem slipped through the cracks in pristine condition. That's rare enough, but collectors are flipping over it because of its sheer perfection and the hype it's generated. In fact, one recently sold at auction for, get ready, $3 million. So, why so valuable? It's all about rarity and condition. This penny isn't just any OL penny, it's been graded as MS70 by professional coin graders. That's like the coin equivalent of winning the genetics lottery. No scratches, no smudges, no wear. It's flawless, like the Ryan Reynolds of pocket change. And because it's a modern coin, finding one in that condition is almost unheard of. Now, let me share a quick story. Last year, I was cleaning out my car, okay, more like excavating it, when I found a handful of sticky pennies in the cup holder. I thought, hey, maybe one of these is a jackpot. Turns out, they weren't. But the process got me hooked on checking my change. And now, I'm practically a walking coin detector. I even got my friends into it. They think I'm nuts, but who's gonna laugh if I strike gold? Exactly, start by looking at all your 2013 pennies. If you find one without a mint mark, hold on to it. Next, check its condition. If it's shiny and scratch-free, congratulations. You might have something worth grading, and if you really think you've hit the jackpot, send it off to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yeah, it costs a bit, but imagine the payoff. So, there you have it. One tiny 2013 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, could be the ultimate treasure hiding in your spare change. It's proof that sometimes, the smallest things can make the biggest impact, like a penny worth $3 million or your friend who won't stop texting memes at 2 a.m. Now, don't just sit there. Go check your pennies. And when you do, let me know in the comments if you find anything cool, or even better, send me pics. I love seeing what you all dig up, and hey, before you go diving into the couch cushions, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Turn on notifications, too, so you never miss a thing. Who knows? Your next big find might just be in the bottom of your pocket. You stumble upon a penny worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the curious case of the 2016 Abraham Lincoln penny that's making waves in the coin collecting world. I'll spill the beans on why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might strike it rich with the pennies sitting in your couch cushions. Oh, and stick around, because I've got a personal story about how I almost threw away a potentially valuable coin. Spoiler, it involves a peanut butter jar. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2016 D penny. It's not just your run-of-the-mill Lincoln cent. D stands for Denver Mint, and these pennies are pretty common. But here's the kicker, this one isn't about the year or even the mint mark. The value comes down to something much more subtle, an error, yep, a minting error. Some 2016 D pennies have unique flaws like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or even odd material issues. These little quirks send coin collectors into a frenzy because they're rare. And in the world of coin collecting, rare equals $. So, why is one worth $1 million? A coin like this doesn't just show up on eBay for pocket change. It has to be in pristine condition, what collectors call MS-70 or mint state 70. Think of it as the Ferrari of pennies, no scratches, no smudges, perfect luster. Combine that with a crazy mint error, and suddenly, collectors are ready to throw down serious cash. Quick relatable example here. Have you ever picked a perfectly ripe avocado at the grocery store? That's kind of what finding a flawless error penny feels like, except instead of guacamole, you're making bank. Now, before you start raiding your piggy bank, let me tell you about my peanut butter jar. A couple of years ago, I thought I'd be super organized and store my interesting coins in an old jar. One day, while spring cleaning, I almost chucked the whole thing in the trash. Fast forward a month later, I learned one of the pennies I had was a rare 1955 double-die cent worth about $2,000. Lesson learned: always double-check before tossing your pennies. So, what should you look for on your 2016 D pennies? Look for misaligned strikes or extra features that shouldn't be there. If you think you've got a winner, have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Now, here's the reality check. Not every error penny is $1 million payday. But hey, even a $50 coin is a huge win when it started as 1 cent, right? Alright, folks, now it's your turn. Go raid your spare change, check the cushions, or dig through that random junk drawer. We all have one. Who knows? Your next coffee could be paid for by a penny, or your next mansion. And before you go, let's keep this treasure hunting train rolling. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more tips on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and fun stories from my adventures in the world of numismatics. Don't forget to smash that like button if you learned something new, or if you just want to see me embarrass myself with more peanut butter jar stories. Catch you in the next one, and happy hunting. Hey there, treasure hunters and pocket change enthusiasts. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions or the junk drawer, and boom, you find a 1980 Lincoln penny. It looks pretty normal, right? No glitter, no fancy engraving. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. One little copper coin could be the golden ticket to early retirement. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Why is it so special? What makes it worth the price of a beach house? And most importantly, do you have one just chilling in your pocket? Stick around because this is going to blow your mind. So, first things first, what's the deal with this 1980 penny? Well, here's the scoop. A no-mint mark penny means it was minted in Philadelphia. Normally, coins from Philly don't have a mint mark, so that's not super weird. But what is weird is how a normal, everyday penny from this year suddenly shot up to the value of a private island. The key: condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. If your penny is in pristine condition, like it just rolled off the mint yesterday, you're in business. We're talking no scratches, no smudges, and definitely no gum stuck to it from 1985. The magic number is 68 or higher. Anything below that, and it's still cool, but not $3 million cool. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but why would someone pay that much for a penny? Here's where it gets juicy. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, try saying that 3 times fast, are like treasure hunters. They're always on the lookout for rare coins, and they're willing to shell out big bucks for the crown jewels of their collections. The 1980 no-mint mark penny in mint condition. That's the holy grail. Quick relatable story for you. Last year, I found a penny in my car cup holder that was so shiny I thought it might be worth something. Turns out, it was just covered in melted candy. So, yeah, lesson learned: don't assume all shiny pennies are rare, but don't count them out either. Alright, so now you're probably itching to dump out your piggy bank. Here's how to check if you've hit the jackpot. First, grab a magnifying glass, or, if you're like me, squint really hard. Look for the date. If it says 1980 and there's no little letter under the date, congratulations, you've got a no mint mark penny. Next, inspect the condition. Is it shiny? No scratches? No weird discolorations? Awesome. Now, it's time for the pros. You'll want to get it graded by a reputable coin grading service. They'll tell you if your penny is the real deal and assign it a grade. If it's a 68 or higher, call your boss and tell them you're retiring early. And if you don't find one in your pocket, don't despair. You can also hunt for these coins at garage sales, flea markets, or even online. Just be careful, there are fakes out there, and nobody wants to shell out money for a knockoff. So, there you have it, folks, the story of how an ordinary-looking penny could turn your life upside down in the best way possible. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that big treasures sometimes come in small packages. Now, here's your next move. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got plenty more tips and tricks coming your way. From rare coins to hidden treasures, we'll help you unlock the secrets of your pocket change. Alright, friends. Imagine this, you're rummaging through an old piggy bank, trying to find some loose change for a soda, and bam. You stumble upon a penny worth nearly $3 million. Yep, that's the stuff dreams and viral coin videos are made of. Today, we're talking about a humble little penny from 1981. It's a no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and it's currently making headlines for being valued at a jaw-dropping $2.9 million. Yes, I said million. How does a plain old penny end up being worth more than a mansion? Stick around, and let's dive into this wild story. Spoiler, you might want to grab your loose change by the end of this video. First, let's start with the basics. What's the deal with the no mint mark thing? In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced these pennies. Usually, they'd have a little P mint mark on them, but for reasons still debated among collectors, some didn't. It's like forgetting to sign your masterpiece before sending it to the gallery. Except here, that oops turned into a golden, copper ticket. Now, not every 1981 penny without a mint mark is worth millions, so don't go quitting your day job just yet. This coin is special because it's in flawless condition, graded as MS68 by the experts. Think of it as the LeBron James of pennies, rare, perfect, and absolutely in a league of its own. Speaking of rare, here's where the plot thickens. This coin was part of an exclusive auction that had coin collectors foaming at the mouth. Imagine two billionaires fighting over a penny. Sounds ridiculous, right? But when you're a collector, rarity trumps reason. That's why this bad boy hit the $2.9 million mark. Okay, I know what you're thinking, why don't I have one of these pennies lying around? Believe me, I asked myself the same question. Once, I found a shiny penny from 1999 and thought I'd struck gold. I even Googled it, only to find out it was worth, drumroll, please, 1 cent. Ouch. But here's the lesson, the world of coin collecting is all about the details. It's like detective work. You need to look at the mint marks, the condition, and sometimes even microscopic features. That's why people invest in magnifying glasses and those little coin books. It's nerdy, sure, but nerdy pays big if you find the right coin. So, what's the moral of today's story? Next time you're about to toss a penny into a fountain, maybe check it first. You never know, it could be a millionaire in disguise. And hey, even if you don't find the elusive 1981 no mint mark penny, there are tons of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Ever thought your loose change could be worth a small fortune? Well, if you've got a 1982 penny with an no mint mark, you could be sitting on a literal goldmine worth, drumroll, please, $2.8 million. I know, it sounds too crazy to be true, but it is. In today's video, we're diving into the world of rare pennies, talking about this insane 1982 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and what makes it so valuable. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get into it. This penny could be worth more than your car. If you're like me, you've probably seen a 1982 penny and thought, another penny, nothing special. But it turns out, 1982 was a big year for pennies. That's when the US Mint switched from copper to zinc, which makes the 1982 pennies a little different from what we're used to seeing. But here's the kicker, most of those pennies have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco. But, what if, stay with me here, you find a 1982 penny without a mint mark? That's right, no mint mark at all. Now, you might be wondering, so what? It's just missing a little letter. What's the big deal? Well, here's the story. In 1982, there was a mistake. A few pennies were struck without the mint mark in Philadelphia, where they usually don't put one. This tiny, innocent error created an absolute rarity, and only a handful of these mint markless pennies are floating around today. Now, let me tell you a funny story. The other day, I was going through a jar of pennies, because, you know, that's how we roll as coin collectors. I was just casually flipping through the change, when I found a 1982 penny. I almost tossed it back in, thinking it was just another regular one. But then I noticed something that made my heart skip a beat, no mint mark. I started sweating, my hands got clammy, and I'm thinking, could this be the one? After a quick Google search, I realized that this thing could be worth way more than I expected. I mean, I'd been looking at pennies like they were just pocket lint. But suddenly, my collection felt like a treasure chest. But here's the kicker, in 1982 no mint mark penny in mint condition, we're talking about the ones that look like they just came off the press, can be worth a whopping $2.8 million. Yup, you heard that right. That's the market value for one of these ultra-rare coins. Now, don't go running to the nearest coin shop thinking you're about to cash in big time. These pennies are super rare, and most of the ones out there are going to be worth, well, the usual penny price. But, if you happen to stumble upon a mint condition 1982 no mint mark penny, hold on to it tight, because you might just have a retirement plan on your hands. So, what can we learn from all this? First of all, keep your eyes peeled for pennies, even the ones that seem boring and old. You never know, that penny you thought was worth nothing could be your ticket to a luxury vacation or, who knows, your own private island. And here's the important part, if you do come across a 1982 penny with no mint mark, you need to get it checked by a professional. It's always a good idea to have an expert appraise it, because there are so many fakes and counterfeits out there. You don't want to miss out on your fortune just because you didn't do your homework. What if I told you that a coin worth just 1 cent could be worth millions today? And no, I'm not talking about some rare ancient relic, I'm talking about a 1983 Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving into why that seemingly ordinary penny from 1983 could make you a millionaire. Well, at least if you have the right one. But first, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because we're about to dive into the world of pennies worth more than your coffee, way more. So, you're probably thinking, okay, hold on. A 1983 penny? That's just a penny. It's been in circulation for decades. But here's the kicker, it's not just any penny. In fact, it's a penny with no mint mark that has popped up in the market for over $2.6 million. I know, it sounds like some kind of crazy reality TV plot twist. The $1 million penny. Sounds like a game show, right? Let me take you back to why this is so insane. You see, in 1983, the US Mint started making pennies with copper-plated zinc, not solid copper like they used to. But here's the plot twist, some pennies from 1983 came out with no mint mark. Normally, you'd see a D or a S on most coins, which tells you where they were made, Denver or San Francisco. But some 1983 pennies slipped through the cracks with absolutely no mint mark. These mysterious little guys are the ones causing all the commotion. Now, let's talk about what makes these coins so special. It's all about the error. We're talking about a true minting mistake. Think of it like a happy accident, the kind that Bob Ross would smile at. Pennies with no mint mark from 1983 are rare, and in the world of coin collectors, rarity equals value. Just one of these bad boys in perfect condition can be worth upwards of $2.6 million at auction. That's a lot of zeros for something you probably wouldn't give a second glance to. Here's the thing, though, finding one of these pennies is like finding a needle in a haystack. Most of us will never get that lucky. But hey, that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your change jar or your pocket lint every now and then. I mean, I found a rare coin once that I thought was just an old dime. Turned out it was a misprint, and I sold it for $100. It wasn't millions, but it was a nice surprise. Just goes to show, you never know what's hiding in those pockets or drawers. But here's the thing, if you think you have a 1983 penny with no mint mark, there are a few things you'll want to do to verify it. Condition matters. The better the condition, the more valuable it is. A penny with scratches and wear probably won't get you much, but a pristine one could be worth a fortune. That no mint mark feature, remember, these 1983 pennies are supposed to have no mint mark at all. If there's a tiny D or S, then it's not the one you're looking for. Get it graded. If you find a 1983 penny that looks like it's the real deal, take it to a professional coin grader. They'll authenticate it and give you a grade on its condition, which directly impacts its value. Now, I know what you're thinking, is there really a chance I could be sitting on $1 million penny? Maybe. But, I wouldn't go spending your rent money just yet. Even if you don't have $1 million penny, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. You'd be amazed at how some obscure coins are worth more than your whole collection of pocket change. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, your average penny might seem like a small thing, but with a little knowledge and a lot of luck, you could stumble upon a treasure worth millions. Who knew a piece of copper could turn into a small fortune, right? Now, I want you to do me a favor, go check your change jar, dig through that loose change you've got lying around, and see what kind of treasures you can find. If you're anything like me, you might even find something quirky and worth more than you expect. And, hey, if you've learned something today, make sure to subscribe for more tips and coin watching strategies. We're here to help you keep an eye out for coins that could change your life, one penny at a time. Plus, I promise, next time I find a rare coin, I'll let you know so you can be just as lucky. So, you're chilling with a pocket full of pennies, right? But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth a whopping $2.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $2.3 million. Don't believe me? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about the 1984 Abraham Lincoln penny, no mint mark, and how it could be sitting in your jar right now, waiting to make you a fortune. Now, before you start pulling out every 1984 penny you've ever found, I've got some important info to share. But trust me, you'll want to stick around, because you don't want to miss this one. So, here's the deal, the 1984 penny. It looks just like any other penny, right? You've got Abraham Lincoln, a tiny bit of copper, and that trusty, "In God We Trust" motto. But, and this is a big but, if your penny has no mint mark on it, you could be holding on to something incredibly rare. You see, in 1984, the US Mint produced pennies with either an D mint mark for Denver, or an S mint mark for San Francisco, like they do every year. But here's the kicker, a handful of pennies were mistakenly struck without a mint mark. It's believed that these were supposed to be part of a special San Francisco mint batch that got mixed up. And guess what? Those no mint mark pennies are so rare, some are fetching millions at auctions. In fact, one of them recently sold for $2.3 million. That's million with an M. I mean, seriously, a penny that could pay off your student loans, buy a car, or send you on a vacation to some place far from a penny jar. But don't just go throwing your pennies up on eBay just yet. It's not as simple as finding a 1984 penny and slapping a price tag on it. First, the condition matters. If it's all scratched up, or worse, covered in weird green gunk, you might have a sad penny, not a golden one. So, if your 1984 penny is in excellent condition, that's a big win. It also needs to have zero mint mark, no D, no S. This is where things can get tricky, because unless you're a coin expert, you might need a magnifying glass or even a microscope to confirm. Now, let's talk about how this even happened in the first place. The mint has a long history of mistakes when it comes to coins, and the 1984 no-mint mark penny is one of the most famous screw-ups. Coin collectors love a good mystery, and this one is the equivalent of finding a rare diamond in a pile of dirt. A few lucky collectors managed to get their hands on one of these mistake pennies, and now, their bank accounts are a little fatter. But I know what you're thinking: how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys? Well, I'll tell you. Start by checking your penny's date. If it's a 1984, then you've got the right year. Now, flip it over and get a nice close look at the back. There should be no mint mark beneath the year. No D or S. If that's the case, hold on to your hat, because you might just have a little piece of history worth big bucks. But here's where things get really fun. I know some of you might be thinking, I've got a 1984 penny, and I definitely don't have $2.3 million sitting in my piggy bank. And you're probably right. It's super rare, and most of us will never find a penny worth millions. But hey, the whole point here is that it's possible. Just like you can find a hidden treasure in your backyard, or win the lottery while doing your laundry. You just never know. Alright, so now that you know about the elusive 1984 no-mint mark penny, get ready to start checking your pennies with a new level of excitement. But remember, it's all about condition, rarity, and luck. Most of us won't get that $1,000,000 penny, but don't let that stop you from continuing to collect and learn more about coins. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into coin treasures, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. I'll keep bringing you the latest coin tips, tricks, and maybe a few more stories about how I accidentally stumbled across some cool finds in my own coin collection. Spoiler, none of them were worth millions, yet. Okay, imagine this: you're digging through a jar of loose change, you find an old penny, and you think, it's just a penny, no big deal. But what if that very penny, just sitting there, is worth a small fortune? Like, I don't know, $2 million worth. Yes, you heard that right, a 1985 penny could potentially make you a millionaire. Now, I know what you're thinking: is this guy pulling my leg? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your coin jar with a whole new mindset. Alright, let's dive into this crazy story about the 1985 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. First off, the mint mark is that little letter you'll find on most coins that tells you where it was made. In most cases, it's like D for Denver, or S for San Francisco, but sometimes, well, sometimes you get a penny that's missing that mint mark. And when that happens, it can send coin collectors into a frenzy. Why? Because a missing mint mark on a 1985 penny is super rare, and we're talking rare like a unicorn in your backyard, rare. So here's the deal: the regular 1985 penny is worth, what, about 1 cent. But that no-mint mark version? That's like finding a golden ticket in your Willy Wonka candy bar. These pennies have been known to sell for, wait for it, $2 million. I know. You're probably thinking, okay, that's cool, but how the heck can I tell if my penny is worth that kind of cash? Great question. Let me break it down for you. First, make sure it's actually a 1985 penny. If it's from 1984 or 1986, well, nice try, but no dice. You need that specific year, 1985. Then, you need to check for the missing mint mark. Now, if you're looking at a regular 1985 penny with a mint mark, it's worth about 1 to 2 cents, depending on its condition, nothing special. But the no mint mark 1985 penny? Yeah, that's where the magic happens. So, the reason why a no mint mark 1985 penny can go for millions is because it's incredibly rare. The US Mint was supposed to put a mint mark on every penny in 1985, but for some reason, a few slipped through the cracks without it. And that rare mistake has made these pennies incredibly valuable among collectors. We're talking, potentially $2 million for just one penny. And no, I'm not kidding. And hey, if you're like me, you might have once found a penny on the sidewalk and thought, oh, a penny for my thoughts. I remember the first time I found one. I thought it was lucky, like finding a four-leaf clover, so I kept it in my pocket all day. Fast forward a few years, and I found out that the exact penny I'd picked up could have been worth thousands if I'd just known what I was holding. I felt like a coin collector failure. So trust me, it pays to know what you have. Now, don't go rushing to sell your 1985 pennies just yet. The truth is, these rare coins are out there, but they're not exactly common, and you're not guaranteed to find one. If you think you've got one, you'll want to have it appraised by a professional. And don't forget, condition matters. The better the shape, the higher the value. But the fact that you might have a $2 million coin sitting in your change jar is pretty wild, right? So here's the deal, folks, check your coins, hold on to those rarities, and remember to keep an eye out for those rare finds. You could be sitting on a gold mine, or at least, a penny mine. And hey, if you want more tips on finding coins that could make you rich, or just want to geek out about cool coin facts, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big find. Until next time, keep those pennies close, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find the next big one. Catch you later.